the environment is going to present you a certain set of obvious options, right? And those obvious options are naturally easier for us to gravitate towards. Obviously, unless you have the mind to look past them and supersede the procrastination that your mind typically wants to fall for, then you're gonna see past the streets and be like, nah, there has to be another way. Okay, that's why some people, they just, when their life crashes, they crash and burn. Other people, they rise and they're reborn like the phoenix, right? Because it's what you focus on. What repetition are you gonna focus on? The repetition that builds you or destroys you? You see what I'm saying? Because I know you see this. I know you see this, right? You see this, but there's no trust with yourself. Like that other time. You see why you trusted yourself the other time? Because that's all that mattered, was performing the action. It didn't matter if you did it right or wrong. That's why you were fucking people up when they were jumping at you. But you just gotta be okay. Once you get past, I promise you, Meshu, when you get past the initial point like you did when I showed you that lesson of just DPing, the initial pain was what? Oh, but people aren't gonna take me serious. People, you know, I'm gonna lose a lot. Once you got past that, how much did your anti-airs increase? Be honest with me. That week, you were DPing everything. You look like me. You look like an Alaskan version of me, right? That's what it looked like. You feel me? With that in mind, it's getting past the initial pain point. What's the pain point of me learning this thing? If you know you have to learn something, right? Let me tell you guys something. Let me show you some shit. Now, what this is a measuring stick of the quality of your knowledge with anything. Doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Dribbling a basketball, cooking, washing clothes, financing, doing your checkbook. It doesn't matter, okay? So now, look at this. So for number one, this is where everybody begins. We all are in the goo goo gaga stages here. What is the goo goo gaga stage? This is the I don't know that I don't know. This is the goo goo gaga stage. You can also call it infancy, or call this the infancy or baby stage. We can also call this the dependent stage, right? Because like children are heavily reliant on their parents, okay? So this is where you rely on something outside of you. You don't know that you don't know. Like, babies don't know that they don't know things. They just don't know. They just fucking do things. You understand what I'm saying? They're just kind of like goo goo gaga. This is really important because usually whatever it is that you require to transform the quality of your life, usually whatever it is that you require to change, like a skill, an idea, that is required to change the quality of your life, they usually exist within this realm. Okay, it's usually gonna be over here of the I don't know that I don't know. So this could be, let's say you never met me, right? You guys I never existed. Imagine a terrible universe where I don't exist. Terrible. So imagine in this terrible universe, right? Now, you don't know about zones. You guys didn't watch my zones video. And if you guys didn't watch my zones video, something's wrong with you. But here, dedicate an hour of your life to something that you would probably take 8 to 10 years to learn. If that, maybe longer. Maybe you never learn it. That's just me kind of throwing it out there. You don't know that you don't know that until you know it exists. So what happens is once you know, or you know that you don't know, it now becomes, haha, the next step, which is, I'm pretty sure you guys can guess it. It is the I know that I don't know. Now you know what you don't know. So now you're like, wow, so these are the things that I have to work on. Okay, so these are the skills that you need to work on. Okay, you have to work on them. But how do you work on them? You have to first understand them. You have to know what you need to practice. These are the things that you need to learn, okay? Now, this is the crawling stage. These are when you are going to make, you're gonna make mistakes. You're not gonna make mistakes because you're learning, actually. So the mistakes will be on the next one, which we will talk about, okay? So this is the learning period. We move on to number 3. Okay, so you guys see the pattern of this, right? So what do you guys think is the next thing? I'm gonna let you guys kind of like participate a little bit. So you see, I don't know that I don't know is the first thing, right? So this is like ignorance. Okay, so we can actually write this in there. Learning period, right? And this is like discovery. Okay, we'll call this discovery. Conscious competence. Aha! Discovery. So we have ignorance, discovery. So the next thing, conscious competence. Yes, so how would you put that into an actual phrase. So you see, this is the pattern. I don't know that I don't know. I know what I need to know. Yeah, I know that I know. Okay, so I know what I need to know, or I know what I know. Okay, so it's just the conscious aspect of it. So this is the application. This is the trial and error phase. And this is a key secret. I don't give a fuck how old you are. Okay, let me tell you something. This is be very, very serious. Okay, when we talk about, let me put my arcade stick down. When we talk about learning, right? What's the number one thing people use as an excuse when they can't learn something? What is the number one fucking excuse? I want to hear it. What do you guys think it is? What's the number one excuse people make when they say they can't learn something? Too fucking old, baby. Too goddamn old. That's exactly what it is. Too old. That's the number one thing people say. Have you ever wondered why people say that? Because believe it or not, I'm a very positive, focused person when it comes to overcoming things like this, right? Now, they're right, but that doesn't mean that there isn't another way. Let me tell you why they're right, okay? And this is actually gonna blow your fucking mind. The reason why they're right is because it's a game of telephone. Where did they learn that from? I'm gonna tell you where they learned that from. People learn this from the adage, the fact that when you are young, right, your brain is its most malleable because there are so many fresh connections and neurons that haven't been made yet, okay? And you're literally, like, your brain is at a frequency where it's just easy to absorb shit, okay? That's why most of the habits and your belief system is formed in the first, like, 8-9 years of your life. You understand what I'm saying? Everything after that is just, like, added on, and it's way easier to get rid of. You follow what I'm saying? Now, when you get older, your brain becomes more structured, things get wired harder, right? So it is going to be more difficult for you to learn. This is fact. That way, it's impossible. You can't do it the way you used to, where you immediately learn something and it's embedded into your it doesn't work like that, because you have to honor. Wait, let me show you how powerful this is. No, I'm a mind fuck you right now. Watch. Just hold my hand, Metro. All right, on some brotherly love shit. I got you, bro. So when they say you're too old, it is fact, because you're too old to learn that way. You can't learn that way anymore. Your brain it's not malleable. It's hardened. You get what I'm saying? But that just means you're too old to learn in the older way, the way that used to work. But the mind is a fascinating mechanism. It's insanely powerful. You know how you learn shit when you can't rely on learning it immediately like that? And the answer is so fucking simple that you already know the answer, but because I'm gonna tell you the answer coupled with what I just said about the mind not being malleable like it used to be when you were a child, it's gonna make so much fucking sense. Do you know how you change? Repetition. Rep-a-fucking-tition. Who would have fucking thought? Holy shit. Isn't that some crazy shit? It's fucking repetition. That's literally it. That's literally it. You know why? Let me tell you something. Okay, let's say somebody wakes up, right? They have a great lifestyle, silver spoon in their mouth. One day they wake up, they're in poverty. Completely just, they are in the streets now. Okay, after a certain amount of time of being in that environment, you are going to create new habits because you're not in your old environment, which supported and only strengthened your old belief system and your old lifestyle. Now you're in a completely new territory. This is why it's hard for people to pick up new shit, right? Because they know that it's going to rely on them doing things that they are unfamiliar with. It's going to remind them of the sense of abandonment a child feels when they're learning shit or when they have to rely on somebody. That type of abandonment is scary to people naturally when you're abandoning the things that you're comfortable with, okay? It's kind of like the similar, like, intensity of a child potentially being abandoned by their parents, okay? But you're being abandoned by your comfort, the things that help you get to wherever you are. So imagine this person just wakes up and they're in the streets. Now they have to pick up these new habits. After being in the environment long enough, they will end up picking up on the habits of the streets. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna start hustling. They're gonna start doing all these things because of where they are in their environment. It's the environment is going to present you a certain set of obvious options, right? And those obvious options are naturally easier for us to gravitate towards. Obviously, unless you have the mind to look past them and supersede the procrastination that your mind typically wants to fall for, then you're gonna see past the streets and be like, nah, there has to be another way. Okay, that's why some people, they just, when their life crashes, they crash and burn. Other people, they rise and they're reborn like the phoenix, right? Because it's what you focus on. What repetition are you gonna focus on? The repetition that builds you or destroys you? You see what I'm saying? So whenever you are trying to learn something, repetition is absolutely necessary. Why is that? Because in your brain, when you make associations over and over and over again, the same process where when you were a child and you were malleable and you immediately like just soaked in things and learned things immediately and it became a part of your subconscious memory and you just kind of just acted on those things. When you do things enough, it pushes you into this next level, which is number 4, which is your subconscious. This is the I don't know what I know, because you don't have to think about it anymore. You feel me? This is unconscious competence. I don't know what I know. This is your muscle memory. This is your belief system. If you want to figure out what you need to work on, if you can unveil the stuff that you don't know that you know, that's usually where 98% of your life is defined, is by your habits, the things that you do effortlessly. You understand what I'm saying? The things that you're doing effortlessly are the things that you need to be absolutely aware of. The things that you are not aware of are the things that govern your life. You understand what I'm saying? We'll put this as I don't know that I know. So this is mastery, effortlessness. Mastery, not in a sense of the end goal or being the best, but in terms of that specific thing. Having a bad habit, you're a master of your bad habits. You ever thought about that shit? You are a master at the things that you don't even want to do. That's what I'm talking about. This is mastery right here. This is where mastery exists, is where it's effortless. You understand what I'm saying? This is effortless, okay? This is effortless. This is your subconscious. These are the things that are happening behind the scenes, upstairs, every single day, every single conversation that you're having with yourself, how you're perceiving things in front of you, around you, inside of you, about you. It's all your subconscious. This is the thing that's governing your life. If you want to change your life, you need to uproot this shit. Number 4. What do I not know that I know? That's your subconscious. This is your trauma. This is your memories, your biases, your blind spots. You understand what I'm saying? This is number 4. This is the shit I constantly pursue. What do I not know that I know? And that's why I've gotten the results I've gotten. You see what I'm saying? Important. It's just so important, guys. So ask yourself, what are you doing? Like, what do you want to change? What do you really want in life? What do you want? What do you want? Ask yourself, what do I want? Right? Am I willing to learn? You have to be 10 out of 10 willing to learn these things. You have to be 10 out of 10 willing to change in order to learn these things. You see, that's a problem. I'll say a problem. It's a challenge. Some people see it as a problem, where some want to learn, but they don't have the willingness to change in order to learn. See what I'm saying? You have to be able to do those things. That's how you change your habits. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to learn the thing that you want to learn, but you have to be willing to change. You see what I'm saying? So you see how you can consciously think of something and then you don't do it because of the emotion. You see what I'm saying? This is why it's important, especially that we confront our emotions. Emotions are, you master yourself. I am on a path of mastering myself. I don't give a fuck about anything else, to be honest. I really don't. I think I do, but I don't. That's just my ego. But I truly want to master myself in a sense of being completely mindful and open to everything about me. Because then you're unfuckwittable. Imagine you are absolutely unfuckwittable. Because the other extreme of that is not giving a fuck about what anybody says, but then you're harming people. But then where I'm trying to be is just being completely free to whatever. Things just come and go as it pleases. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have desires, but you're not attached to them. They don't. You're aware of them. If you're aware of your desires as they happen, then you're not gonna blindly chase them. You know what I'm saying? Money, women, right? Success. As long as you're aware of it, you're not a slave to it. If you are not aware of it, and then it's gonna creep into every moment of your life, and then you're gonna constantly have this itch to scratch your desire every single time. And sometimes desires are not even yours. They're just random emotions that kind of drift into your point of view. And then you think you want something and you get it. You're like, why did I do this? So quick recap. I don't know that I don't know. That's your ignorance. What are you ignorant towards? I know that I don't know. So then you learn that thing. The application phase, which is I know what I know, or I know what I need to know. Application, right? This is where you make the mistakes over and over again, right? This is where you got to make mistakes. And you do this over and over again. See, now Meshu, what Meshu was doing is he got a little bit of success and he never made it to this. He never made it to this because he didn't keep making mistakes. He got success, and this is the danger of success. you stop failing. You have to fail. You have to try things as many different... Yo, when I was doing DPs, the reason why I mastered DPs and I don't think about it is because I didn't practice DPing only in ways to be right. I practiced DPing in the most fucked up situations, even if I couldn't consistently do it. And now I DP without even thinking about it. This right here, I'm telling you, with anything, this is so pivotal, man. I promise you.